What's up, guys? D-Rock1992 here. For this next video and for my next reviewed movie, I'm going to review a movie that I saw about a week ago or so, something like that, probably less than that. But this movie is the third movie in the Taken series, Taken 3. I will be reviewing the two Taken movies, the first two, at some point. And I really enjoyed those two, for sure. I will definitely get to reviewing those two. But since Taken 3 happened in 2015, it came out earlier this year in January, I believe. It was one of the first big movies to come out in January. I'm going to review it first. I'm going to review Taken 3 first, and then I'm going to do Taken and then Taken 2 at some point. I wouldn't say right away. Maybe not. You'll get them. You'll get the videos, basically. I do promise that. So Taken 3 is the final entry in the Taken series. Liam Neeson stars as not detective, but Liam Neeson stars as Brian Mills, who is an ex-Secret Service agent, you kind of call him secret agent, sort of. So he plays an secret agent. I'm not going to give away anything on Taken and Taken 2, but in Taken 3 in particular, the stakes are pretty high because his ex-wife, gets murdered in this movie. Kind of a big spoiler right there. That's kind of the whole thing of the plot. Famke Janssen plays Lenore Mills St. John, who is the wife. So she dies right off. Pretty soon, right off into the film, so she doesn't have a very big role in the film at all. So basically, Liam Neeson's ex-wife gets murdered, and Brian Mills, his wife gets murdered, and Mills is framed for the murder. He is prime suspect number 1, and he obviously didn't do it. So he goes out and he tries to prove who did it. He tries to find out who did it and cause them a world of pain. And that basically is your movie right there. There is a guy out there to try to stop him on the good side. Forrest Whitaker, former Academy Award winner, plays Inspector Frank Dotsier. Maggie Grace plays the familiar role to Taken fans as Kim Mills, the daughter of Brian Mills. And for all you Taken fans, that's a familiar role. And Dougray Scott plays Stuart St. John, the husband of Lenore Mills St. John. So those are basically the major characters in the film. Basically. Those are the ones I'm going to mention right there. So, in terms of characterization, there was one big issue that I had with this movie, and it was Forrest Whitaker. He just was not that good in this film, in my opinion. He just wasn't that good. He wasn't really convincing enough as a police inspector. He looks like he had a joke. He looks like throughout the film, it looks like it's kind of a joke to him to play this role, something like that. Just the way of his mannerisms and things like that. But this guy, the guy's a former Academy Award winner. So you'd expect him to kind of have the strongest part in the movie, but he really is the weakest point of the film. He's just not that good. Liam Neeson, is as good as he always is in the Taken films. Liam Neeson these days has become a great mid-50s action hero. We've gotten a lot of those in the past few years. Pierce Brosnan's forged into that territory. Denzel Washington is portrayed a mid-50s guy. So we have gotten a lot of these guys. And Liam Neeson was like the poster child for those. And he's probably not as strong as he was in the first two Taken movies, personally, I think. But he's still effective. Maggie Grace is Kim Mills. I mean, just a typical character. I mean, she plays her character well. Nothing extraordinary, but she plays her character well. Famke Janssen and her limited role in this film before she gets killed plays an admirable role. And plays a pretty good role. Grace Scott, I think, was a strength in this film a little bit. As Stuart St. John, he gets a big role in this movie, and he does a good job with it. But yeah, like I said, Forrest Whitaker just did not do it for me. I did not like him at all in this role. Really, not at all. And basically, the action scenes and things like that, I mean, this Taken movie didn't have as many action scenes, intense action scenes, as the first two Taken movies did. Plus, this movie started off a little slow. I mean, I kind of understand, but this movie did start pretty slow. It took a while for Liam Neeson to kick ass. When he did, he was effective in it, just not as effective as other people. Not as effective as he was in the first two Taken movies. So, a worse performance overall from Neeson a little bit, but not that bad, really. He actually did a pretty admirable job in this final Taken movie. Now, having said that, I think this one is the worst of the three. I thought Taken's a favorite of mine, just Taken for its uniqueness. And I really liked Taken 2. I thought Taken 2 was a little bit of an improvement over the original, a little bit, but overall I like the first one better, overall. 3 is a passable entry into the series. It is not a great action movie whatsoever. So don't expect that when you go in. But expect a reasonably entertaining action movie. I give it a 3 out of 5 stars. It is entertaining. It's an entertaining, effective action movie. But that's pretty much all it is. I mean, the characterization of Forrest Whitaker was weak. Some of the action just wasn't quite there for me. It wasn't as much there as it was in the first two Taken movies, which is kind of a problem for me. And it started out slow. I mean, the pace of it was slow at the beginning. Then it kind of jumped right in. So those were my big concerns about the movie. Enough for me to put it as a 3 out of 5 stars, however. I did enjoy the movie. I enjoyed the action scenes that were there. So yeah, it's a reasonably entertaining action movie. It got panned by critics. It got a 9% rating on Rotten Tomatoes. That's terrible. I didn't think this movie was terrible. I thought it was adequate, an adequate film for the end of the franchise. Saying that this movie should be the end of the franchise, totally. Where can you really go from here is the question. I kind of came up with an idea about Taken 4. I don't think Taken 4 is going to happen. But what if Taken 4 has... Actually, I can't really say anything because I'd be spoiling. I'd go into spoiler territory. See Taken 3 first. Maybe you'll think of the idea that I thought of. Who knows? You know, the idea I thought of up the top of my head would be a good way. I mean, it could squeeze out another Taken in the Taken series. But this is probably about time for the Taken series to be put to bed. I mean, it probably definitely is. So that's it for my video on Taken 3. D-Rock 1992 out.